the summer of love.
What's up, everybody? It's Pro here. Today we're back for another Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck profile. And for today's deck profile, we're going to be doing the fieldspell.dek, the crazy combo by Brent Casey, crazy combo deck by Brent Casey, I should say, based on Subterrors and hella field spells, terraforming, as well. Obviously, being able to search out all of your field spells makes this deck really good. So as long as terraforming is live, so are we. And this deck, if you're looking at it, you might be thinking, oh, if you haven't seen this build already, then you might be thinking, oh, well, what is this? This is crazy looking. There's cards all over the place. Looks like nothing makes sense. Well, before you click away, if you haven't already, before you click away, just keep in mind that this is a combo deck and works in a very strange way, but it does work. And that's the part that matters. So, I guess mad respect to Brent Casey. I have made a few edits to his build. The cards that I've changed, or taken out rather, are at the bottom in my side deck. So those were the cards that those are some of the cards that he had in there that I took out because I didn't feel like they were needed in the deck, or that I just wasn't going to use them. So without further ado though, let's go ahead and jump right into this, and I'm going to try to explain this as best as I can. I haven't done too much testing with this, but it is a good deck. Alright, so to start off with, we have two Armageddon Knight. It Foolish Barrels any dark monster from your deck. So your Destrudo, your Destrudo, or your Destrudo could be sent to the graveyard. But just kidding. Your Destrudo, your Codalus, your Dark Worm, it just sends a lot of things to the graveyard. And like I said, we play that one Destrudo because it can, special summon itself from the hand or graveyard and create an Ancient Fairy Dragon immediately, which of course is going to be the best card in the deck since it revolves around the field spells. So yeah. Next up, we play the one Subterror Fiendess. It's just really good for getting off your Subterror effects off. And it's just a good card. I mean, everybody knows Fiendess. It's the best. It's what makes Subterrors playable. Next up, we play the one Subterror Nemesis Warrior, which allows you to send a Subterror from your deck to the graveyard. So yet again, another Foolish Burial in the deck, and at least one other monster. So the total original levels tributed equal or exceed. Oh wait, I skipped a line, didn't I? Oh wait, tribute this card and at least one other monster. So the total original levels tributed equal or exceed the level of that Subterror monster in the graveyard. And if you do, special summon that monster in face up or face down defense position. And then, of course, if a Subterror is flipped face up, well, this card is in your graveyard, you can special summon it. So more combos. And it's an Earth Warrior, which is pretty good. It means we can search it out with Rhoda, and they can make Mrs. Radiant. Next up, we play the one Subterror Behemoth, Ursatrix, Umatrix. I don't know why I said Ursatrix. Jesus, my mind all over the place. Anyways, it has a flip effect where it can target a monster your opponent controls, banish it, and then when it's flipped face up, when a face-up monster you control is flipped face down, if you control no face-up monsters, you can special summon this card from your hand in defense position. Once per turn, you can change this card to face down defense position. So it does 3 effects, all of them really good for obvious reasons, and it has really good defense, so your opponent's gonna have a hard time getting over it. And for our last Subterror monster, we play Subterror Behemoth, Phosphor Glacier, where its flip effect is that you can send one card from your deck to the graveyard, so it's a Foolish Burial, and then it has the same other effects as the previous card. So this one's a little bit better, to be honest, just because that Foolish Burial is such an important part of this deck, or Foolish Burial's like effects, because the more things that hit the graveyard, the better for us. So it's really weird in that aspect. But anyways, moving on to our Dinosaur engine, we play the 2 Codalus, which is basically just a search for the double evolution pill. Which is really good because I can get out UCT and sort of help push for game as well. And you'll never be able to special summon this guy without double evolution pill as well. So the way that you go about it is kind of weird. So this is just a card that you have to get in the graveyard as well. UCT, Ultimate Conductor Tyranno, you know how it is. This is one of the best cards of the game right now. And, like, it's not right now, but it was one of the best cards. Or, it still is one of the best cards. It's just, it was, for a format, the best card. But, it is a really good card. 3,500 attack is no joke. Especially now with its crazy effects. You should know them by now. It's a really meta card. And it's sort of one of the reasons why this deck is so powerful. Being able to get this guy out so easily. Anyways, next up we play the one Alistair the Invoker, because we are playing the Invoked engine. Then we play one Spiral Super Agent, and then one Spiral Gear Drone. This is a card, I think the first card in the deck that I added. Yeah, this is the first card that I've added. And I've added it because I really like its second effect, being able to banish it and another Spiral card to target your Super Agent and add it back to your hand, and then activate its effect. And then you can activate Super Agent's effect to get it back on the field. So it's just really good. Also, its first effect, being able to look at your opponent's deck, that means that if you have Resort or your Super Agent in hand, that you'll be able to get it off easier, and then you go into your Double Helix combos. So, you know, it's a really good card, and there's a reason why it's at 1. Next up, we play the one Glow Up Bulb. If it's in your graveyard, you can send the top card of your deck to the graveyard and special summon this card, which is absolutely broken because we want things to hit the graveyard. So if we can get a really good mill off this, it can be extremely busted. Another similar card is Fairy Tale Snow. If this card is normal or special summon, you can target a face-up monster your opponent controls and change it to face-down defense position. Then, during either player's turn, if this card is in your graveyard, you can banish 7 cards from your hand, field, or graveyard to special summon this card. So, obviously, this is one of the best cards, and it's one of the best cards in the meta, especially for mill decks, because it just gets them free monster, pretty much. Alright, then next up we play the one Trickstar Candina, because we are playing Trickstars, which is so weird to say, because it's like when I'm trying to list off this deck, it's like extremely difficult to explain how the combos work. It's really just a deck that you have to play to understand how everything works. But anyways, as you know, when this card is summoned, you can add a Trickstar to your hand, so you're going to add a Reincarnation off of it. And yeah, next up we play the one Dark Worm. If this card is in your graveyard and you control no monsters, you can special summon this card. So yeah, once again, another monster that we just can special summon from our graveyard. Super good. Next we play our 3 Terraforming. Absolutely broken card. It searches out half of your deck practically and makes this deck pretty busted. And then we also play 1 Set Rotation, acting as the 4th Terraforming. Then we only play the only field spell that we play 3 of is the Hidden City, just because it's probably the most busted of the ones that we play. It allows you to add a Subterror. It allows you to change or to flip your Subterrors face up. It allows you to, but it is capable of negating attacks as well, which is really cool. So yeah, I guess if you wanted to, most people are calling this the Subterror fieldspell.dek, and that's probably what I'm going to do as well, just so that since we run the most of the Subterror cards, it just makes the most sense, I think. Alright, then next we play the 2 Dragon Ravine for both our Dark Worm and the Destrudo. He was running, Brent Casey was running it at 3, but I think that's a mistake because we only play 2 dragons, really. And like, the third Dragon Ravine just seems pointless to me because the whole point of this deck is to be as minimalistic as possible, and having too many of something completely bricks the deck, and I think that was the case with it. And then we also play the 1 Magical Meltdown for the Invoker, searches it out and protects your fusions. Then we have our Light Stage to search out the Cantina. Then we have our Resort to search out either Super Agent or Spiral Gear Drone. Alright, now moving on to our regular spells, we play the one Invocation. We don't play anymore just because it's searchable, and that's sort of like I said, the whole point of the deck is that everything is searchable. So you have the whole deck as access at all times, and your opponent has no idea what to Ash or Ogre or whatever. Next up, we play those 2 double evolution pills, which allows you to banish a monster and a non-dinosaur monster from your hand or graveyard to special summon a level 7 or higher dinosaur monster from your hand or deck, ignoring its conditions. So this is really helpful for getting out that UCT to pretty much just win the game immediately because it's absolutely busted. Then we play our 2 Dragon Shrine, which once again sends a monster from your deck to your graveyard. And then if that monster, oh wait, that part doesn't matter. So yeah, it's just another Foolish Burial like effect. Then next up we play the 1 Scapegoat. We don't play multiples of this because, well, we just kind of can't. There's not enough room in the deck and I don't want to exceed it. The only thing that I might say is if you can find room in your extra deck, play 3 of these and take out the Dragon Shrines, because honestly, Dragon Ravine does the job. And we have so many other cards that can send things to the graveyard that Shrine isn't like completely necessary. It is helpful though, because like obviously it's pretty much just another Foolish Burial. That doesn't take up a field spell slot, so that is that. But I think since I don't even have that much extra deck space, Scapegoat's fine at 1. Then we play 1 Foolish Burial, 1 Rhoda, which searches out 4 cards I think in our deck, maybe more. It might search out more, but I think it only searches out 4. Are the Subterror, Nemesis Warrior, or whatever, the Armageddon Knight, and the Super Agent. So it searches out a total of 4 cards in our deck, I think. I might be wrong. Is Fiendus a fiend? Fiendus is a spellcaster. Okay, I thought so. So yeah, we only have 4 cards that it searches, which is absolutely plenty. Then we have our 1 Monster Reborn, absolutely busted in any deck, as well as a Soul Charge, the win condition of any deck at this point. Just being able to special summon any of those valuable monsters that you had and that got sent to the graveyard, it's extremely good. And then next up we have the 1 Trickstar Reincarnation, everybody, because it's super busted, and whereas we don't play the hand traps or the Droll and Lockbird to be able to lock your opponent out of it, still banishing your opponent's hand is really good. Especially if you know that like they were drawing a lot of cards, or like you know what their hand is looking like, it can be a really helpful card. Now moving on to our extra deck, we do play 2 Mechaba, and just like he had said, the logic with this is that if your opponent is able to out 1, you can always make another one, and that's the only reason why we play 2. Otherwise, trust me, I wouldn't worry about it. And then we do have the 1 Prairie Trio. It does come up for like game swings or whatever, and you can use your opponent's Ash Blossom for it, or we do have another fire card in the deck. I think it's just one of my link monsters though. But yeah, pretty much you're going to be summoning this off of your opponent's Ash Blossom. Next up we have the Gnat Beast. We can make it with Glow Up Bulb and any of, or either Super Agent or Nemesis Warrior. And it pretty much just stops your opponent from being able to play. So it's really good. Then we have our Ancient Fairy Dragon, searches out any of our field spells, absolutely busted, and special summons a card from our hand. So it can be an Unbreaker as well. Then we have our Black Rose Dragon because, well, it's Black Rose Dragon. And it's just absolutely busted, absolutely crazy. Next up we play the 1 Baguska because it's a floodgate, and whereas this deck isn't really a floodgate deck, you never know when you might have to go, when your opponent's, it's hard to predict. Also, I'm sorry for using the OCG artwork. I just realized that I was using OCG artwork. I apologize. But anyways, it's really hard to tell how your opponent's going to be playing. So Baguska is a really good way to just sort of sight that out, I guess. And you can make this with. We do play quite a few level 4s, so we can make this pretty easily. Moving on to our links, we have one link Karibo and a link spider for the scapegoats, as well as link Karibo has an additional effect because of blow up bulb. So if you control a blow up bulb and link Karibo is in your graveyard, you can ditch the blow up bulb to special summon link Karibo. Also have a Mrs. Radiant also for the scapegoat as well, and we, like I said, we do play quite a few earths. And the double helix for the combo that I was explaining of being able to get a first turn Decode Talker, or even if you just wanted to sit on the double helix with two 1900 attackers, depending on what your opponent has, or if you have Last Resort out still, or Resort. I don't know why I always say Last Resort. Then we have our Proxy Dragon, once again, pretty much just for the scapegoat, but you can make it to climb up to a Decode Talker in other situations as well. Decode Talker, like I said, crazy good card. It's not like a win condition or anything, but when you need to swing for high attack, this is the perfect card to do it. Then we have our Borreload to pretty much out whatever opponent monster that they might have, and then Saryuja because, wow, it is extremely busted, and getting that Graceful Charity effect, it's kind of similar to Graceful Charity, but getting that off is really easy with this deck, and really fun as well. And plus, being able to special summon a monster from your hand unbricks it as well, so being able to like special summon a Subterror or something can be really fun. Alright, so yeah, that's pretty much it for this deck profile. I hope you guys enjoyed this crazy fieldspell.dek, and respects and thanks to Brent Casey for this wonderful creation that we have to work with now. And now that we know that things like this are possible, I'm really excited to see how other people are going to innovate on it, because I've done very minor changes and it still plays like, or I've done very minor changes, but I want to see other people do more. Like, all I've really done to the deck is I added the Mrs. Radiant, the Link Karibo, the Link Spider, and the Double Helix, as well as the Saryuja, I think. I either added the Saryuja or the Borreload, and I can't remember which one I added. I don't remember, but I added one of those two. So anyways, if you enjoyed this, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you next time, and as always, have a roaring good day.